Good evening. My name is Rob McLennan, and I serve on the DC Preservation League's Board of Trustees. I've said many times before, one of the most rewarding parts of my role as a volunteer for DCPL is chairing the Project Review Committee, which assesses the preservation aspects of local development that either affects landmarks or affects properties within historic districts. We are fortunate to have some of the city's best architects, historians, engineers, and general contractors serve on this committee, helping ensure the history and character of the city is honored even through new development. Tonight, I am pleased to present the awards for design and construction. What do a horse stable, a Beaux-Arts apartment building, and a government office building have in common? Not a lot, honestly. What they did have were good bones and quality teams who respected the buildings and were committed to breathing new life into these important landmarks. Congratulations to the recipients of the 2020 District of Columbia Awards for Excellence in Historic Preservation for Design and Construction.
The McCormick Apartments, completed in 1916, can be found just off DuPont Circle at 1789 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest. Many notable residents called it home, including Andrew Mellon, the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury under Presidents Harding, Coolidge, and Hoover. The building was designed by French architect Jules-Henri de Soubourg.
This was for when socialites would visit Washington for the season. And there were 2 apartments on the first floor, and then each of the next 4 floors were its own apartment. An 11,000 square foot apartment, you might have been able to manage that.
The building transitioned from residential to office space by 1941. Home to the National Trust for Historic Preservation for nearly 30 years, the building was sold in 2013 to the American Enterprise Institute, a public policy think tank. As part of that sale, the National Trust would hold an easement on the property for the exterior facades as well as the interior perimeter rooms.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation was the current owner of the building, and so they were good caretakers. It needed a major refresh, though. It had out-of-date mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems. The interior space wasn't necessarily suitable for a modern office layout.
The plans balanced the spatial needs of the American Enterprise Institute with the historic elements of the 90,000 square foot building. Both exterior and interior renovations were needed.
We cleaned the exterior. We pointed all of the joints that needed pointing. We did some specialty cleaning in areas that had been heavily soiled. We really tried to put the exterior envelope in a good place for the next 30 years. That was our sort of long-term objective.
To fit the entirety of AEI's programming, a new lower level was created, 14 feet below the original basement.
The problem with going down 2 levels is how do you hold the building up? And so we ended up having to underpin every single column and the entirety of the perimeter foundation system. So the whole building was on stilts for a number of months.
The monumental staircase, which connects the building's main floors, was restored to its original design by reversing previous renovations. An enclosed elevator shaft was removed, and new windows were installed on each floor, backlit to simulate natural light. Mechanical systems were upgraded for energy efficiency, and interior finishes were also restored. To maintain the magnificence of the rooms, neither furniture nor lighting fixtures were installed in the interior walls.
We're going to do essentially a smart furniture layout. So this furniture resembles part room, part furniture. It has to touch the floors because gravity dictates that you have to touch the floor. But what we're looking for is trenching the floor lightly and bringing all the power line, data line into a location where these smart walls are, and everything feeds off from there. We don't touch the walls, we don't touch the ceiling.
With the revival of this landmark, the McCormick Apartments will remain an integral part of the historic fabric of the DuPont Circle neighborhood.
There are challenges working with existing structures. There needs to be a flexibility to to be able to make modifications to keep the buildings in use. Because if they can't be kept in use, they're going to be torn down. And that would be a huge loss to the community and to the culture as a whole.